right there. There we go. So three, two, and one. Well, Mayor Zacher, welcome back to Mayor's Monday here at WSAU, WSAU.com. First off, thank you for the Christmas card. I'm glad I can always count on the city of Wisconsin Rapids to get me that beautiful Christmas card every week, every year in the mail. It's like
We
the one thing I get at the office every year that I look forward to.
we appreciate you guys. We do our best to try to reach out, and I appreciate Emily for helping me on that end, just making it all happen and getting them out to the people in the community. So
Hmm.
appreciate you guys.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Are you telling me that Emily signed the card and you didn't?
No, I signed the card, but she helped
Okay.
me kind of set it all up. So
Okay. Okay.
yep.
I'll get okay. That works. That works. Emily's also a great resource as well. But yeah, we appreciate you for taking this time once a month, always to chat with what's going on in Wisconsin Rapids. I don't get to Wisconsin Rapids nearly as much as I used to back in the day.
Yeah.
But I mean, you got a lot of great stuff going on there, and we got to keep up with that at the very least once a month, which is what we try to do here on Mayor's Monday. And before we get too deep into things, let's get a reminder out there to folks who are paying those property tax bills. I got mine last weekend. In fact, I don't have to worry about paying it though. That goes out of escrow. They handle all that stuff for me. But for those that do need to walk into City Hall and pay those or send a check into City Hall, what do you want them to know about getting that in the mail or into the hands of the treasurer at the appropriate time?
Yeah, well, we're here. We appreciate the people that come in. I know not everybody has the time to come in and pay it, to us in person. I send it in on mail and or work on the website. But we do appreciate being able to talk to everybody. We did a good job. Emily did a good job, and Tim from finance to put together some charts this year, some graphs to kind of circle graphs to show the expenses, where they're going, where the money that's coming in from, the different sources of revenue, and where that all goes out to the services that are out there. Of course, most of it's going into public works and public safety. So I think it's good, and we're doing our best to communicate as much as we can, get that information out to people. People have been stopping in, thanking us for that, and just asking questions. And just my goal has always been to communicate more effectively, have community outreach. That way, people feel more connected and don't feel like it's us against them or them against us. So I do feel like we're making some headway there. We also, with Emily's help, we sent out a new public communication survey, just talking about, community outreach, what's working, what's not working, getting their input on it, seeing how we're doing since the new website got up and running this year. We're very proud of that. It's still a work in progress. Again, Emily does a good job with Joel from WRCM, just making sure it stayed up to date. But I think a big thing Emily does is really puts a personal touch on it from a resident perspective, and reaches out to people, gets the information she needs in order to make those that better for that communication, and making sure it's easily readable and navigatable.
Mm-hmm. And you do have that survey out right now. Well, what kind of feedback and input are you looking for from the residents on that?
Yeah, it just goes along the lines of what is it that they're getting that's working, what's not working, what tools do we need to focus on in order to make sure that they feel engaged with the government, and making sure that answers questions they have get answers immediately. We're working on ideas about how to make sure. I don't know if you've ever experienced this, but most people can't stand the phone call run around, like, oh, send from one person to the next,
Oh
and you can
yeah.
never even find a human being. Like, we want to stop that, and we want to develop a system where they're talking to a human right away and being able to get the information they need, which means we need to do a better job at just knowing what basic questions are out there from each department, but also then being able to get the professionals to call them back and get them specific answers to stuff that's more, in depth by the department. So these are all things
Yeah.
that are going to help people just feel like the government's there for them, not vice versa.
Yeah. The phone maze is a very big headache to deal
Yeah,
with
yeah, nobody likes
at
that.
times. Nobody wants to deal with that, and especially when it's at the lowest level of government, and I don't mean lowest in a negative sense. I mean lowest level of government in this sense means you are the level that directly impacts the residents, the local municipal government. That's the one that has the biggest impact on your life, as opposed to what goes on in Madison or Washington, D.C.
Yeah, I think to your point, it's good to, again, it's always been part of my platform to just be a part of the community like I was before I got elected, and be present, be out there, be at events, be available for, sit down, hour-long talks with people, to be able to answer questions, get them the information that they're looking for. I think it's all important to say, like, we are one community here. We're all connected. We all have to work together, try to spread that message, try to build that community again, where I feel like over the last decade or a couple of decades, we've been more set in the direction that, we're all individuals, and we should all just live in our own confined space, whether it's our house, our car, our job. But really, we have to bridge those gaps again between neighbors and help each other out, and just be a part of a bigger community versus just individual people living at individual houses. So working on that.
Indeed. Yeah. One other thing, obviously, we've gotten our first taste, our first test of the snow removal equipment for the year here. How did that go the last couple of weeks as we've had significant snowfall in the area?
Yeah, I can't give enough credit to the streets department. They all participate in it. You have the more tenured people that um, are working on the big trucks, the big graders, the stuff that that takes a lot of skill, in my opinion, to make sure they have the confidence and competency to run that stuff without doing any damage, hopefully. But in the end, you're always going to leave the berm in the driveway, right? And on the sidewalks where you don't want it. I
Right.
got some calls complaining about that, but in the end, it's always been a part of it. The hard part is if somebody's older and it's harder for them to get that snow out of there. That's where we have to look out for each other. And there's plenty of kids in the city that can, pick up a shovel and help their neighbors out. This stuff that we just have to communicate about. But the guys at the streets department and girls are doing a great job, just making sure that everything's getting done. We appreciate all the work that they do, taking care of the equipment, working really hard on salt brine versus using all the pebble, the chunks of salt. And I think that
Hmm.
helps with a lot of waste, putting it right where you need it, able to
Right.
do things beforehand. So when the ice does come, you're not running around afterwards trying to get the salt down. You already kind of got to it before the storm came,
Oh
which
yeah.
is great with ice storms for sure, as well as all storms. So they've done a lot of good work with that.
Yeah, absolutely. And has the mayor had a chance to do a ride along with some of Wisconsin Rapids' finest in these situations? Obviously, police and fire department are the undisputed, hands down finest. But when that storm comes through and starts rolling and howling at midnight, 1 o'clock, and the streets need to be cleared in time to get to work. Big tip of the hat to those that are on the plows and rolling out of bed as the rest of us are still resting, right?
Yeah, yeah, I don't, and again, I think even police and fire would say we're so intricately involved with each other. The roads have to be there, whether it's snow or just upkeep, to make sure that we can get around the community safely and quickly, whether it's police or fire, EMS. Excuse me. Yeah, they do work well together. Communication's always going to be the key, respecting each other enough to know that we rely on you, you guys rely on us. But yeah, these guys are out in the middle of the night, all night, making sure that by morning time, for the most part, people are up and running and ready to get to work and typically school, although of course the kids love the day off, which is good. You got to have some of those.
Hmm.
But yeah, they do an amazing job, and I just don't. I think people, and I'd like to encourage them to realize, not to take it for granted what it takes for those guys to be up and at 'em all night long, making sure that the snow is gone when they wake up in the morning for the most part. Yeah, it's pretty amazing if you think about what we're doing on a day-to-day basis to make our cities and our communities function well.
So then, when it comes to the snow removal, how is the municipal snow pile looking right now? Are you still got some room? to work with,
Yeah.
or is it full right now?
No, there's still some room. We saw it the other day, and there's a few different areas that they go to, but they got some room. The biggest part is like the downtown area, making sure that snow is removed. I think we'd need another big storm probably before they go into full removal mode. But what they are pulling out of there now, they have a couple of good spots for it. We had one downtown in this triangle area that we're developing now, so we
Hmm.
lose that, but at the same time, it probably, it wasn't necessarily, it wasn't a forever place. It was just kind of a temporary place. So
Hmm.
I think they got a good plan as they've had for years, and it works out really well. And we do have a decent amount of room left. So
Last thing before we let you go, 2026 coming around. What are your biggest goals for the new year? Is it redevelopment? Is it taking care of the streets? Maybe emphasizing more street work? What's at the top of the list right now?
well, there's lots of things for me personally, but also mainly for the departments in the city. We're going to have a big project going on downtown, which is Jackson Street project, and that'll incorporate some work that the county's doing for a parking lot. Might be some streets that are going to be vacated down there. And this is all public information. Now, again, the plan has to evolve over time, and I think there's still some questions to be vetted out. But that whole area right downtown, from between the river and the courthouse, will be redone and then open for the development that we're working on getting people in there to do. Rapids is a little bit of a tricky town in terms of even though our value has gone up, especially since COVID and the last revaluation, we still have the issue that the rents aren't quite as high. So it's hard to get big developers in that want to do bigger projects for
Hmm.
residential, apartment complexes and retail centers underneath. But we are working on them, got good prospects. The mill, the craft mill will be completely done soon here. They'll still be cleaning up some of the rubble, getting some of the rebar out of the concrete, cleaning up that stuff. But we should be down to grade by the end of the winter. That'll be 220 acres of real estate opened up. They got about, oh, I don't know. Don't quote me, but between 50 and 70 megawatts of energy at Quebco for
Hmm.
manufacturing to be coming in. There's lots of people talking about opportunities there, just looking to make things happen. So we're excited for that in 2026 as the whole process continues. A lot of good progress this year. We're pretty happy that the craft mill is almost completely down, and some of the subsidiary things. We're pretty fortunate that way. Outside
Hmm.
of that, we have some great ideas working towards entrepreneurial activities, education, cooperation, working together with existing entrepreneurs. Always something you want to develop. You think it'd be easier than it is, but I think the more we can get people involved again in that community spirit, older entrepreneurs wanting to help younger people that want to get to know what it takes to run a business and build a business. I think all that stuff is going to be great. So I'm happy things are moving forward as I'm
Hmm.
moving into having to, well, I won't talk about that because I know we can't, but there will be that thing called reelection coming up here.
Of
So that's
course,
something I'll
yes.
have to, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
indeed,
yeah,
indeed.
so that's all good. Hard to believe it's been 2 years already, or
Oh,
going
no
on 2
kidding,
years.
no
So.
kidding. On that sense though, with the mill, again, I know this has been, the mill is Wisconsin Rapids owes a lot to that mill. Obviously, without that mill, Wisconsin Rapids probably isn't the community that it is today. You mentioned, the tearing down process. You've gotten that nearly complete. Is there any plan right now to kind of put a historical marker or some sort of acknowledgement of the mill, either at that location, maybe at City Hall or something like that? Is that something that you've had discussions on yet?
Yeah, it's interesting because again, it's all privately owned, right? So I've talked to, the owners or the representatives of the owners. I've talked to different people in the community, talked to the folks that originally built it that owned Consolidated, the folks that are still, part of that business and the foundation that still exists from that. Just to say, like, we do want that. We want a name, if possible, a name recognition. It is an industrial park now. So what it, is called, I would love to see that name recognition. I think it's always tricky. There's like there's perceptions, right, in the community that, like hard feelings about this maybe and that. But in reality, I believe that everybody I talk to loves the name Consolidated, loves the memories of being able to work in the mill and build that up. And I think they would love to see that. So it is something that we're looking at and working on. Can't guarantee anything there just because it's all outside entities. It's not a city decision. And then outside of that, like there is some people in town that are working on some art projects. Again, it's not easy to get them to actually to take hold and make it happen because you got council and everybody. There's just so many voices involved in making decisions and getting them all on the same page. I think that I'm still pretty good at that, but I have realized over the last year and a half that it's not even if you're good at it, it's just so immense in terms of trying to get everybody to see the big picture of something that could be really good. It's not always that easy to do. So we do what we
Mm-hmm.
can.
Have you taken a souvenir or anything from the mill, even, a brick or a couple pieces of rebar? Are you going to make some
Yeah,
arts out of that?
I have
Put
not,
that in the
but
office?
yeah, I have not done that. Not, again, for the city side of things, being as separate as it is, but there
Mm-hmm.
is people in the community that are gathering parts that are very, unique to the mill that would have,
Sure.
when people drive by and see them, they would be like, "Oh, I know what that was, or what was used for."
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's a bigger process than you would think. And again, we're kind of we still have like, I don't know how to say this exactly, but there's a little bit of us that I'm working really hard on to say, like, remember the past, honor the past, but
Mm-hmm.
we also have to look to the future and we have to make sure that we're excited about what's coming and the work that it takes in order to make that happen. But there's a balance between the two, and sometimes we're a little bit stuck in the past, and that could be good for the memories and the honor, but also bad for the like. If we don't keep up with the times, we could be left behind also. So there's definitely a need to make sure we keep driving for the future. So that being said, yeah, I would like to make sure that as many people as possible are excited about the future and what's coming and being able to honor what's here, what's
Mm-hmm.
been here for the last 120 years.
Absolutely. Well, Mayor Zacher, we always appreciate the time. We'll look forward to chatting again next month.
Yeah, appreciate it, Michael. Thank you. Merry Christmas to you and
Merry
everybody else.
Christmas.